Hello, everyone. This is JD Calderon, and this is Indy Comics Explained. And, well, I would say yet again, I brought another fantastic group of guests, but I don't. I just have me and my co hosts, and we're going to be talking about comic books. Primarily, I am launching a campaign today. It's already been launched at 7 o'clock. It's for the Oswald Chronicles on the Wings of Deidre. So, my guys will, hopefully help me along and help me explain this madness. But we're going to be talking about comics, and we're talking about all kinds of things. I got Jay here, I got Mark here, I got Damion here. But, why do I have to tell you about them when they can tell you about themselves?
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I am JD Rosario from Unstoppable Comics, here to share some of the things I've learned in the 15 plus years I've spent losing money as an independent comic book publisher. And I'm drinking early tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We started hitting the sauce at about 9 a.m. this morning. So welcome one, welcome all. Happy New Year, right? Happy New Year.
Yes, that's the one thing I forgot to say is Happy Lunar New Year. Yeah, that's the Chinese New Year for many. Year the Rabbit.
Yes, it is today.
It is today, yes. It's Year the Rabbit. We're saying goodbye to Year the Tiger. Good riddance to that motherfucker.
I am a rabbit sign. What's up? This is my year, y'all.
Really?
Yeah. My wife told me 75. Rabbit.
Oh, okay. Well,
rabbit.
I'm sorry to hear it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's supposed to be a good year for everyone else but rabbits.
Why?
I don't know. That's just the way it reads
like,
out.
Like real rabbits or people born under the sign of the rabbit?
People born under the sign of the rabbit. Bro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's supposed to be
meat. That's good meat.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, they say there's no real protein there. I don't know. Anyway,
what are you talking about? There's no real protein. It cooks like a protein.
I'm here in the South. We just eat squirrels. No, I'm joking. What's up? How you guys doing?
Squirrel meat there, son.
I've only been offered squirrel once. It was French fried. I did not try it because it was a squirrel, and I'm not going to eat squirrel. Sorry, my bad.
Now, what's the difference between French fried and fried?
It's the same difference.
There's
same thing.
One is French and one is not.
Right.
And then I'm in the proper South. When you go up in the Appalachian South, they do some wacky shit up there with them squirrels.
Oh yeah.
You would think with French fry, they would, if it was French, they would just cook it in butter.
I mean, everything's better with butter.
Right.
That's
a little bit of rosemary, some salt. Oh my God. C'est magnifique.
There you go. What's up, Mr. Mark? How you doing?
Hello. This is Mark Torres with the King from the Radio, the official of the Big Apple Con. We are going to celebrate our 20th year next month on the radio.
Wow.
You can hear us on 88.1 FM WARY in Westchester County, as well as on, I think, like 4 other online radio stations, and also on about 40 different podcast places. But I'd like to address a couple of things. So first off, Mr. JD Calderon, you are the guest on your own show. So you are an awesome guest on your own show. Let's start off with that.
I don't know about that, but okay.
Number 2, it's weird because I feel like I've been in this position before because the 49ers are playing in a big football game, and here I am on the show instead of watching the 49ers game. So I think this was like last year we did this.
Probably.
Right?
Probably.
They just tied.
Woohoo!
6-6.
And then, lastly, the difference between fried and French fried is that after the French fry it, they retreat.
That's horrible. That's
1 point.
That's horrible. Wow. Okay. Nice. All right. So
I take offense to that, Monsieur Martois. I find that very troubling that you would use my people to be poking fun of, Mr.
That's Mr. Rosario doing his vocal, testing his vocal characters for our upcoming radio play that we're doing.
Yes.
There you go. So here's the campaign. I just launched it about 30 minutes ago. All right, we're at 33, 31.
That's
nice. 9
30 minutes ago. That's $100, right? Per minute? No.
No,
for 10 minutes. $100 for 10 minutes.
Yeah. So
that's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
The first 24 hours tends to be all right. I'm hoping I can. I kept my goal low at 750. I'll hopefully
Right.
crack through
So,
that.
so what are you raffling away?
Not raffling anything.
So if we make $1,000 during this stream, you're not gonna raffle away something? Come on.
No.
Yeah,
Here's the thing. With the reason I don't like raffles is because there's one. All right. You know what? Let me pull this down and then we can talk. All right, pull that down. All right. Here is something I am giving away, but not just to one person, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Hold on. So to the first 45 physical backers, you're gonna get this guy. It's a sticker, right? And it's a metallic foil sticker. So
very nice.
And you're gonna get one of these guys.
An enamel pin too?
No, it's not enamel. This is an acrylic pin.
Oh, sweet.
But it's it's full color. This was illustrated by David Jackson.
Okay.
And it was colored by Clement Mugini.
Okay.
And so the first 45 physical back, everyone will get one of those. Now, if I happen to make it to 1,000 backers by the end of this podcast, we have 2 hours, I will give everybody a trading card. I mean, actually, let me pull this thing up.
Giving a lot of shit away, kid.
Yeah. And that'll be a stretch goal. So, even if, let me pull this up.
So yes, $1,000 within a 2-hour stream.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Calderon is such a Kickstarter guru, it is quite
whoa. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I've done a lot of these, and I managed to screw each one up in a different way. So,
how many have you done by now?
All of them.
Yeah. Now, I think this might be 27.
Nice.
I think.
You need a checklist.
Yeah,
You're like checklist, just like a little nice card or something, bookmark or something that has like a checklist of all your books.
Actually, what I'm going to be doing is in the back of this one. Let me pull this up so you guys can see that.
Oh, very Edgar Allan Poe-ish.
Yeah, this was illustrated by Eric Blumrich. He's an illustrator I've known for like forever. He's doing video games these days, but he did this for me a while ago. But I've had this image forever, and it's one of my favorite Oswald pictures. So I'm going to put this on probably a 32 point. It's like a brown cardstock, but it's going to be a trading card. It'll be trading card size, and it's good, but it's really 32 points, but really thick and heavy. So I don't know, it's something a little weird, something a little funky. I want to try out. So
why don't you get that made into a little stamp?
I probably should.
Right, because all you got to do is line up the ink on the blacks. Everything else is negative space, or the white is negative space.
Yes.
So those are the gaps. That would come out nice on a stamp, dude. You put that on the top of a letterhead or your packages when they're going out. Really nice presentation, man.
Yeah.
Or on the corner of your address label.
Mm-hmm. What I could probably do is have it isolated out where it's just Oswald and the pen.
No, do all of that shit.
You
need that black in there.
We'll see. Mark, you're quiet. Damion, what's going on? Talk to me.
So let's start off with the big stuff.
Uh-oh.
Let's start from the beginning. Who is Oswald? How does he live in the world of the humans?
Yeah,
let's get into that so people can know. People who are new to this stream don't know. They need to know. Don't just say, "Yeah, it's my book," and we're gonna give away. What are they getting? What's it about?
Okay, so Oswald himself. This is all right. I'm sorry, I got a little distracted. Like Jay just like disappeared, and like I can't hear him anymore. So it's like, okay.
Wait, what do you mean? So I gotta turn on my video to shut up the sound? What the hell is that? That's I took out my gun and I stabbed him. Come on.
No, I think it was Damion. Damion, you hear the ambient sound coming from him?
Oh yeah.
Right. So he went mute, and I couldn't hear it anymore, and it bugged me out. I was like, why
My bad.
am I hearing that sound? No, that's okay.
Like I said, the banging in the background is like every time I hear it, I'm like, is that getting louder? What is going on?
I don't hear anything.
Right.
That's
So Oswald is. Hold on. Let me pull up the campaign again.
No. Don't pull up the campaign right now. No. Answer Mark's question. Stop procrastinating. Let everybody know you're on the hot seat right now.
Right.
This is why you leave. See, now I'm going to talk to you like a parent. Now I'm going to talk to you like a parent talking to the child. This is why you leave the table and you let Daphne do the work in pitching the book, because you haven't properly developed your pitch. So you're on the hot seat right now. You're on the hot
He
seat.
leaves that table. You know, you should put like a drawing of yourself at any convention, like that's who you are. That way you can still see yourself at a table because you're never there.
Yeah, I know, that is true. I should. Yeah, I should. But anyway, the Oswald Chronicles.
Who is Oswald? That's what Mark wants to know. Let's go ahead.
Who
Everybody watching. Who is Oswald?
Who is Oswald? Oswald's a mouse, right? And he is destined to become the greatest sorcerer of his time. Basically, that's the gist of the story.
Okay.
And what we're seeing is in the stories, we see him growing and becoming who he is destined to become.
Okay. Why is he a mouse?
Because in the rationale is that any entity will be chosen. It's at random, right? We've had humans in the past. We've had the entity before Oswald was actually a raven. So it goes to different. It transfers around. Sometimes it's a fae. It could be a fairy, a goblin, a troll. It could be all kinds of things. But different entities are chosen. Approximately every 100 years, they're destined to reseal cracks in reality. Okay.
Okay.
So that's what his real destiny is. But Oswald has other ideas. Okay, because the price that has
before you go into that, because I like where you're headed with that. All right?
Mm-hmm.
You're in the hot seat today, baby. All right.
You didn't answer the question. Why is he a mouse?
Okay. Why did
Go ahead.
No.
Why is he a mouse?
Because you're dancing.
Okay.
You're dancing.
Now there's two levels to that one. Are you asking me why is he a mouse in the story, or why did I choose to make him a mouse?
Why did you choose to make him a mouse?
Okay, that's the relevant question.
Let's say both.
Yes.
Okay.
When I created Oswald, there's two things. There's the most common story is that I was walking across town with Daphne, and we saw a flower bed, and I saw some flower. This was we're walking from east side to west side of Manhattan, and we're crossing Park Avenue. And on Park Avenue, if you've ever been to Manhattan, there are these what they call malls or meridians, right? They have the grass on them, and they have very nicely kept. The businesses on the street keep them very nice. And on that mall, there were some flowers, and they were all chewed up, and they were all eaten up. And I looked at it, and I looked at it, and I looked at it, and I was like, "Hey, that looks like some fairy would be really angry with some troll for eating her flowers, right?" And Daphne looked at me, and she was like, "That's fucking stupid." And I was like, "No, that would make a really good story." And she was like, "Whatever." And she completely denies this. She completely denies this. I was there. I know. I went through the pain. That night, I went home on the train, and I started writing that story. And that was a story called The Park Avenue Mall War. Oswald was in that story as basically a crypt keeper type figure. He was just to document the story, okay? And he was a scribe, and he lived this isolated life on the mall, and he was just documenting these stories. And then as time went on, I was going to write a second story called it's a second story in the it's a story that was already done. It was we were just passing through, where we have another race and they end up on the mall, and it was supposed to be the Calcium Grog War, and I couldn't figure that story out, so I wrote this story instead. And I was like, okay, we could put Oswald in that one too, and he'll write down the story. And in the story, Oswald ends up figuring out how to use magic. And as the stories progressed, the stories just kept becoming more and more about Oswald, right? And that's how he became the central figure. And originally, these were written in prose. And then probably about 10, 12 years into it, I started doing them as comics, and this was probably about 10 or 12 years ago. And one of the big things with Oswald is the concept behind it, the through line is that the smallest of us, right, can have a voice and can affect the world, okay? That's the through line. Is the smallest of us can affect the world if we try hard enough, right? That's why he's a mouse,
Okay.
because he's bottom of the food chain, and nobody ever expects anything from that type of animal that can be able to do something.
Very nice. May I interject for a moment?
Of course. Go
May
ahead.
I, please? Because
Go
I'm
ahead.
very, full of it. And I'd like to psychoanalyze you with
Go
what
ahead.
I've known about you already. And
Nice.
the real reason, ladies and gentlemen, why Oswald is a mouse. Okay? The real reason. Okay.
Go for it.
So the real reason is that Calderon was the youngest in his clan. All right. Dad owned the bodega.
Yeah.
All right. Very successful. Took care of the family. A hardworking man. And when he would bring his son to the bodega, now for those of you who are not Spanish inclined, the bodega is the corner store here in New York, right?
Grocery store.
And usually the defender of these bodegas are what is known as the bodega cat, right? But here's the thing. Calderon, being so young, hated the bodega cat because the bodega cat would terrorize him in the bodega. And the only time the cat was ever distracted is when he was chasing the mouse in the store. So, going into Calderon's young mind, he transferred that into the mouse was distracting the cat long enough to protect Calderon so he can get away and have a stress-free day in the bodega he didn't want to be at. Hence, Oswald being this defending sorcerer. Thank you very much. I tip my cat. Good night, and please back Oswald on the wings of Deidre. You're welcome.
I like his version better.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. You're like 110% wrong.
I know, but that's why I'm a fucking writer, baby. That's why I'm a fucking writer. You understand? I came up with that shit on the fly. Okay?
Yeah, I can
Jesus
tell.
Christ. If I could spit fucking rhymes, I would have been fucking rich by now, bro. My
No.
wordplay and my fucking way to psychoanalyze and bring shit
No.
out of the ether is all fucking there, bro. Come on. I'm like Professor X, but like a broke one. You know?
You don't listen to yourself, do you? It's like,
No, of course not. If I did, I'd be too embarrassed to say anything.
it's like if you pick shit from the air, do you know what you end up with? Your shit covered. And if you just start
And guess what? Yes, because that's what pigeons do.
and spitting all over things,
Oh.
not a good look. Not a good look. You know. But anyway, no. I actually loved my my bodega cat. Yo, we had one. It was fearless, bro. That cat was fearless. That cat would take on like I've seen it kill rats about the same size as that damn cat.
You see? And in all that time, we've never had a conversation about the bodega cat. But I knew.
Well, because
I
all bodegas have one.
Not every bodega has one. No.
It's like a law. I think it's a law. They
Yeah,
have
it's
to have.
almost a law. Every
You have to
bodega
get,
has to
before
have
you
a
get
cat.
like the license to operate the premises, you have to make sure you have the cat. It's on the checklist.
Exactly. You gotta have a damn bodega cat.
Okay.
All right, listen. I mean, here, let's get off the cat for a second. Let's
Okay, but, all right. So you answered why
right.
in personal, and you answered why
Right.
in fictional.
Mhm.
So why have you kept up with him for so long?
I'm a completist, man. I'm like, I got a story to tell, and I'm telling it.
Okay.
And this is, remember when we first started, I was like, oh man, I got a problem, right? And I was just like, the problem is that I just recently completed the series last year. I finished writing the last story, which is cool. It came out to 49 stories. All right, 49 stories.
Okay.
Now they're not all. That's not 49 single issues. That's 49 stories. So they range anywhere from one shots to it could be as long as 8 issues, right? 7 of those stories are prose, so those
Okay.
I don't have to worry about. So then that leaves me with what did I come up with? Did I say 47, 46?
I thought you said 49.
You said
49, right? So 42. Shit. No, so there's more prose story. Okay. So I think there's about 10 prose stories because there was 39 comic stories that I had to tell. And about 13 of those already, 13 or 14 of those are already done. And so, yeah. So I have about 28, 27 left to go. So,
Okay. Now, the prose, you haven't converted any of those prose into comic pages, have you?
no, I have. I've done that plenty. This story was originally On the Wings of DJ was originally a prose story. And I'm going to be publishing this with the comic in the front and the prose in the back. So you can actually read both and you can get a comparison of both.
So now a question from a comics creator's perspective. All right, we all know how much it costs to put together a comic book.
Right. Yeah.
Have you ever thought of using some of these prose stories as stretch goals in your books? So just for argument's sake, the book hits X amount of dollars pass, right, on your stretch goal. So you'd add 2 pages, or I don't know how much you're going to do in the prose. Is it 3 paragraphs? Is it multiple pages, or whatever? But could you streamline, or could you create new prose with side stories or side characters, where you do it where it's just like one solid image on one side and some prose on the next, right? It's cost effective, and those who are following the Oswald story get more bang for their buck.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, I wouldn't do that it's the sort of thing I'd have to prep for, right? Have to do it long in advance, right? Because look, on the very first campaign I ever did, I offered a short story. I offered 2 short stories. I completed one. I completed the second one. It's written. I have yet to publish it. But we're talking about 12 years in. I still owe this guy a story.
You did it personal.
Yeah. It was a $500 level. I was like, I would, and then I told him, I says, you could give me a character of yours, and I'll write him in the story, which I did. And whatever original art. Oh, we lost Damion. He's lost.
Oh, Damion.
He sent a message. He'll be right back.
Okay. So this guy so this guy's still waiting, and I owe him 2 pieces of artwork. So
Jesus Christ, dude.
That's what I said. That's why I never did that one ever again. I was like, no, we're not doing that.
What's up, Tom? Good evening, buddy.
Thank you for joining us.
What's up, Tom?
Nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Did you support Oswald, Tom?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
I say that with with the intention that not just financially, you can share it out, you can spread it out. If you can't financially support it.
And a lot of people forget that, right? A lot of people think that the only way they can help out a friend of theirs is financial. I'm not saying it doesn't help, right? Mm-hmm. But it also helps to spread the word.
Yeah, you say, hey, my friend has this.
Yeah.
Yo, I was gonna ask. Here. Let's go back to somewhat of the original format. Unless you guys got another question for me.
We got a lot of questions. This is Oswald's time to shine right now. Okay.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate it.
This is and I joked about you being on a hot seat, but you know what? Let's give you a little bit of shine for a minute, because you do this show week in, week out. All right. And you ask questions. All right. Awesome. But people should know a little bit more about you. And even if you have done it in the past, you don't do it frequently. So let's give you a little bit of love tonight, right? It's us. It's your homies. It's people who want to see you succeed. So let's talk about you. Let's talk about Oswald for a second.
Yeah. So when you said you have the entire story is finished, you finally finished it, right? You said last month?
Mm-hmm.
So then, I remember asking this before. What now? Once you get it all printed and published, then what are you going to do?
Bro, printing and publishing is going to take me at least... printing and publishing. I'm hoping to get it done before I retire.
Well, at the rate you're going, honestly, right? With the 27 stories you got left, what's that? 5 more years with the rate you're going with release?
I mean, I wish.
You think longer? You're doing almost 6 releases a year, 5 releases.
And also, you have to put into consideration the fact that if, or I should say when, one of these things takes off like bananas, you'll be producing much more faster.
Yeah.
Well, true. Well, see, here's the thing.
Hello, Indy Comics Explained.
What's up, Nita?
What's up?
So I mean, here's the thing: is 27 more stories, right?
Yeah.
Now, let's say on average there are four issues per. Even if they're just 3 issues per, I'm looking at what?
Oh, I'm sorry. You mean 47? I mean 27 arcs left.
Yes, stories. That's what I mean.
Different. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
They're
I'm
not all.
sorry.
They're not all one shots. I wish.
Okay. Okay.
I
I
wish.
was with Jay.
So,
Yeah.
okay. No. It's yeah. No. We're talking about just if it's 4 issues just on average, right? We're looking at what 108 stories, 108 individual books.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So you're basically was it Guillermo del Toro it? You're Lord of the Ringsing it. You're going big.
Yeah, but it's it is what it is, man. I mean, I can't.
Now,
At this
you
point,
feel those 27 stories, do you feel it's stretched out too far? Do you think, you could condense them? Do you think you're being too tight with them? Is there more room to explore Oswald and the world that he's in?
well, see, here's the problem: is when I started, and this is why I was telling everybody, don't do it the way I did it.
Right.
Don't do it the way I did it. Plan these things out. I did not plan this fucker out. All right, because it was, when I first started the thing, I didn't. It grew on its own. Like it was very natural the way it grew. It was organic the way it grew up. Right.
There you go. There's an option. There you go.
That is definitely an option. Something I'm considering too.
Yeah.
So you didn't plan this thing out.
Right.
Okay.
So I didn't have a beginning, a middle, or an end. I wrote, right? I would. So I wrote my first day, and I just started working out from that story. And then there were times I was like, okay, I would have concepts and ideas for later on in his life. And what I would do is I would just jump ahead and write those stories. Then I finally said, you know what? I got to start from the beginning. And that's where I wrote my first day. And I was like, okay, boom, I got that story. Then I wrote Passing Queens and Making Homes, which is a story behind that. Now I'm starting to I've put together all the connective tissue, right, between all those stories. Now, just what happened is that I write the stories and I don't give myself limits on them. So if the story happens to need to be 10 issues, it's going to be 10 issues. I don't. But the thing is if I try to keep my stories tight. There's not a lot of fat in there. They move fast. So that's the thing. But it's just a lot of story.
Can any of the stories be told out of sequence?
Yeah, most of them.
Like,
All of them. That was the original.
A la Hellboy. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. In the original concept of Oswald was when I was writing them in prose, you could read one short story and not need to read any of the other stories. It was a complete story in and of itself.
Okay.
So the limited series, right? If I hand you like this with Deidre is 3 issues, you read the 3 issues, you don't need to read anything else. That's one complete story. Okay? Although there is something funny about that though. When I wrote that arc, there is a cliffhanger at the end of it.
Okay.
Okay? Because and the reason I wrote it like that is because my editor, my good friend and editor Steve, he says you cannot write a short story with a cliffhanger ending. And I was like, fuck you. Fuck you. I bet you I can't do it. I could do it. And I did it. So, much to his chagrin. So
one of the things one of the reasons I'm bringing this up is because standard comic releases, right? Over the years have trained us to get used to numbering 1 through 1051. Right? But when it comes to independent comic books, there's no reason for us to be
we're not
trying to chase that ghost. Right?
We're not beholden to it.
We're not. And that's one of the things I liked about Hellboy was that you can read things out of sequence. Shit. James Bond movies, right?
Right.
It's all in canon, but which one came first? How do we know that some of the Roger Moore movies didn't come after Timothy Dalton or before, Sean Connery, except for the first one, Casino Royale, right? I mean, it's all. This is my arc, like you said. Read it. If you like it, you have these other things to choose from, and you don't have to worry about it getting confused where it lies in the timeline.
Yeah, I pulled this thing up. I just wanted to show this.
Expand on it. Expand on it, baby.
All right, so like this is the future. This
I
is,
think Damien has a question.
oh, what were you gonna say, Dane?
Oh, I was going to wait a second, but my question was, do you feel like the way that you wrote it? I know you said don't do this way. Do it correctly. But do you feel like writing it that way made it what it is, or do you feel like writing it that way was something that you wish you had known in advance not to do, like personally, as a writer or as a creator?
No, I mean as a writer and creator, because the thing is it allowed me to make a lot of mistakes and keep those mistakes away from the public. Okay, because that's what I do. It's like if I write a shitty story, you're not gonna see it. I just won't produce it. Right? It happens. It happens to everybody. But the one good thing is that I write so far in advance. I'm like, that one kind of sucks. I don't have to, I don't have to show that one to anybody.
Prune it as you go, rather than
Right?
have to
Exactly. Yeah.
retcon later.
Right. And that's what it allowed me to do. It allowed me to create as much as I wanted to create. And look, I'm of the Stephen King school of writing, right? Where it was something he said in his book on writing that I found very interesting. It was like, write that first draft for yourself and then edit, right? So I write these things and then I edit them down and I try to distill them down to what I get them down to, right? But that's the tough part, is just getting it down. But what happened was with this story is like you know how you have certain points, you're like, I want to hit this point, I want to hit this point, I want to hit this point. You got all these different points you want to hit in the story. I just happen to be very long-winded in telling those damn stories. So,
What part of that Stephen King book, which chapter dealt with
I couldn't.
booking yourself up for a month in a hotel by yourself? I want to read that chapter.
Well, I would suggest go reading that. I don't know. Go read the book, bro. It's not that big of a book.
I don't want to read the whole book. I just want to know how to.
You probably should.
It's on audiobook, and he reads it.
Yeah, it's a very good book. You should read the book.
He makes a point of saying just sequester yourself away. Like, he doesn't say it specifically has to be any particular thing, but it's like in that book, because I've read it a couple times, and I have the audiobook. In case you want a copy, I'll slip it to you. But
Hit me up, baby.
There you go.
he talks about sequestering yourself away and then writing it for yourself. That's when you write it for yourself with the door closed, and then you write it again with the door open. That's the editing, where the rewrite and the editing process all comes in. So it's a good thought experiment as far as how you're creating.
Like, and that's awesome. And Calderon, you and I spoke about this, time and time again. Sometimes you got to write stuff just so you know how the character is going to respond in the story, right? The greater public doesn't need to know about this, but you need to know about this, right? What decisions would they make, or have they made in the past?
Right, I agree. And here's the thing with Oswald and the stories is that we get to see him make mistakes. Like, he makes mistakes. He fucks up big time.
Okay.
And he has regrets. He has serious life regrets, right? Okay. This story that I'm showing now, this is one of them. This is where he lives 3 lives, right? He has his first life where he's just living on the mall. He has a second life in Dream. Then he has his third life where he's resurrected because he gets murdered at some point, right?
Spoiler.
Well, yeah, it's not that big of a spoiler. I've said this before.
My guy dies. Qualifies as a spoiler.
Nah.
Yeah.
Look.
Unless he dies in the first page of the first book that you put out there, it's a spoiler.
I guess. Yeah. It's not that big a deal. But he comes back eventually. But one of the things that he has issues with is when he was in Dream. He spends about 80 years in there. And during that time, he has an entire full life. He's an emperor. He's a husband. He's a father. He's a grandfather. He does all these things. And when he comes back to the mall, he's convinced that it was just a dream, right? Although he remembers a great deal of what had happened, he's way more skilled of a sorcerer than when he went in. And he does have an artifact that comes back over with him from Dream, right? But he's still convinced that, this wasn't real. And it's not until later on, during the story that I have up here, where he discovers that portion of his life was actually real. It's just like a different dimension, a different reality, right?
So how much time in real world was spent of the 80 years?
That was about 2 weeks. He was he was in a self-induced coma. So a chemically induced self-induced coma. So and that was roughly about 2 weeks time.
So how does all right? You said anybody in this world can become the sorcerer, right? So how do the rest of the inhabitants in this world deal with this little insignificant by most standard creature being the most powerful sorcerer in the world? How do they react to that?
Well, okay, that's actually a good question. There's two courts. There's at least four factions.
Go back. Hold on. Before you go back. What was that you said about me for a second? What was that you said?
What? That was a good question?
Thank you. Okay.
There you go. There you go. There are at least five factions that are involved. So you have the Seelie and the Unseelie court, right? So you have light and dark that are represented. Diane represents the Seelie court, right? That's one of his guardians. The other guardian is Ordith, right? That's a troll that lives with him. They're in the story and they're always showing up, right? So that's a Seelie and the Unseelie court. Those are two factions that are working together, that are like enemies, but they've come together just to try to focus in on protecting him, make sure he goes the right way. The other portion is the Brotherhood of the Chamber, which are a bunch of humans. They know there's an entity. They don't know who he is, right? And they know it's Oswald. But the Seelie and Unseelie court keep Oswald hidden from them. Oswald knows of them. He's interacted with them. But, he doesn't have a lot of interaction with them. So they don't really know what's going on with him. So that's another faction. The other faction is the Calcians. The Calcians are these hamster people that live around the entire country. And they're sorcerers themselves, and they also know of Oswald. The other faction is the Gray, and the Gray is the middle between the Seelie and the Unseelie. They're unconvinced of either side, so they have their own faction, and that is his friend Jeremy, right? So he has a little friend called Jeremy that is a red cap, and he's constantly around. He pops in and out of the story. So those are the five factions that are most interested. And as far as what the only thing they're concerned with is guiding him to his final task. His final task is to repair these terrors in reality.
Okay. So those are the five factions. But I'm looking at this page for a second, right? And you have, I guess that's the hamster person.
Right. That's a Calcian.
Okay. A Calcian. And then we have a human looking person.
Right.
Right.
That's Captain Alvarez, yeah.
Captain Alvarez. And then we have a troll-like looking person.
Oh, that's his crew.
That's his crew. So Oswald and the Calcian are the same size as the human.
Right.
Is the human small, or are these animals larger than life?
See, here's the thing. When they pass over into other realities, right, that's when things change. When Oswald's in Dream, and this is technically a portion of that, they're the same size. And the thing with the Fae is, they can grow to human size whenever they wish.
Okay.
They just don't, because there's a compact with the humans. Okay. That if they break the compact, potentially there could be a war with the humans. So they try to stay away from it.
All right. So in one of the eras, right, in the Dream section portion of Oswald's story, he is almost our size, right? 4, maybe 5, if that to be told.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he's short.
In the other two eras, the After Death and the previous, Green. He is small.
He's just a mouse. He's a mouse.
So even after death, he comes back as a normal sized mouse.
Oh yeah, he comes back as a normal sized mouse. Okay. Yeah. But see, here's the funny thing. Later on, we'll see that because of what he can do, it's explained to him that it's all just a matter of perspective, right? So to him, he's at a power level. Well, he gets to a point where it's just like, these things are a matter of perspective. Where for him, here's something. Remember, damn it, what's the movie with Will Smith? With the aliens?
Independence Day?
No, the other one.
With his son.
Oh, no, not that one. Not that one. The good one. Men in Black. So,
yeah. What the hell is that the good one? I gotta
What
throw
happened?
up right now. Hold on.
What happened? Did
Men,
you,
Men in
I
Black
think
is
it,
better than Independence Day.
Yeah.
oh, okay. Oh, no. Oh, no. I meant the one with his son. It's better than that.
After, okay, well, everything's better than that one.
Yeah. All right. So
Hey, Wilson.
in Men in Black, remember there was a scene where they were after that little item, their MacGuffin. There was the little item that had the universe in it.
Yes, and the second one. Mhm.
Right. So
Oh, was that the first one? That was the first one. The cat.
that was the first one. That was the first one with the cat.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the first one. So from that, I always found that fascinating, right? That in that little marble was a universe, right? Which technically would have a planet very similar to our own, right? Which would have entities like ours. So along his travels, Oswald discovers, or he finds out, it's explained to him. He says it's a matter of perspective, right? That, a world, you can hold a world in your hand. You can hold a sun in your hand. You can hold a galaxy in your hand, right? It's perspective. It just depends on whether or not you can have that perspective. Not everyone can have that perspective. Not everyone has that reach.
So
Right.
is the story that Oswald is in? Does
Right.
that take place on our Earth? Does that take place on Earth? Fantasy world. Does
No.
that take place in
He's-
another universe? Is that
It-
could
Well-
Oswald possibly be walking through Times Square in 2023?
All right. Well, like I said, he lives on Lexington and 53rd. No, excuse me, Park Avenue, 53rd.
Hey, okay.
So does that
Right.
mean you felt obligated to incorporate real-world events into his stories?
No, I don't. Not at all. Not at all. Not even for a second.
Okay.
Because the thing is,
That would be nice
if you
that,
get in, if you start doing that, you start dating yourself, and you start dating. You know what I mean? You start dating your stories,
Okay.
right? If I start talking about if I start talking about Bush, like Bush was the president in the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Automatically is dated. Which Bush am I talking about? Am I talking about Bush Senior? No, I'm talking about Bush Junior.
And I understand that, to an
Right.
extent that can hold you down, but also to another thing, it can set a time and a place for your reader and help them easier to get involved in the story a hell of a lot easier, right? Because who knows if it wasn't Oswald or maybe it was the Raven that was the one that made that that destroyer disappeared from the U.S. Navy during the testing of the Manhattan Project, right? That would have been a nice way to wrap that in. I mean, I know it sounds stupid, but I thought it was cute when that destroyer showed up in the Loki miniseries
Right.
on Disney. So if you're saying this in the real world, it's a nice way to ground some of it to a lesser
yeah.
extent, right?
Yeah, damn it, I don't have. All right, I don't have it. I don't have it available easily, so I'm not gonna pull it up. So there's a scene in the story that I'm running now, and On the Wings of Deidre, where they have to leave the mall and they have to run to St. Bartholomew's, right? St. Bartholomew's. I don't know if you know Park Avenue and that area. I believe it's on 49th and Park, and it's a church, and it's this really old Gothic-looking church, and they had to run there for sanctuary because the thing that's after them is demons. So,
Okay.
oh look, here we go. What's up, Wilson? So yeah, and Wilson says Men in Black. All right.
I love seeing you on the hot seat because it's nervous. You're out of your normal element, right?
Oh
But-
yeah, definitely.
But at the same time, people need to know more about Oswald from the guy who came up with Oswald. Don't you agree?
I always tell them read the book. It's always easier that way, to me anyway.
Having read a couple of Oswald stuff, I always find that he has a British accent. Is that something that you also thought when you were making his voice, or does he not have a voice?
What's funny? Whenever I thought about it, you know who I would want to hear him do his voice? Peter Dinklage.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Okay.
That's the person I was like, I think Peter Dinklage, and it would be, if possible, I would like to have him do it in, I think it's called the Pacific Northeast accent. So
Okay.
it's the accent you would hear in old timey movies. Think Humphrey Bogart. You know, those
Pacific
types of.
Northeast.
I
What?
it's something like the Pacific something accent.
Pacific Northwest accent, you mean? Because
I always-
the Pacific is on the West Coast, not the East Coast.
Oh, is it? Shit. I don't know. I always get it wrong.
I always found it to be like a more hoity-toity British voice. That was what I always heard. So now it all messes up. Now I gotta change my thought.
Here it is. Pacific Northwest English.
Right.
Yeah, accent sounds. Yeah. So yeah, it's the accent you would hear in older movies from the 50s and the 30s and the 40s. You would hear it because it was actually an accent that was taught, just like the Brits.
Right.
They have different accents, right? And there's one specific accent which they teach, and it's the ones that typically the royals speaking, and you can tell there's a difference in it, but they're taught that accent. It's not like we just have an accent and it just is what it is. Like I have my New York accent. Damion, I mean, do you have an accent from your area, or would you think?
I don't know what you're talking about. No, yeah, absolutely. I actually lived. I've lived in a couple other places, and I moved to Colorado when I was a kid, and for a solid year, people were like, "Oh, you're so cute. You sound so cute when you talk like that." And I'm like, "Talk like what?" Like to me, I had no sound.
Right.
And I worked in customer service for a long time, so I tried to cultivate a more even accent. But now I just don't care. See, I don't care.
I lived in DC for a little while, and they would tell me, "Oh, I love your accent." I'm like, "What the fuck you talking about? What accent?"
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things you get so accustomed to. You're like, "What are you talking about? I have an accent. You have an accent, right?" So yeah. But yeah, Peter Dinklage. That would definitely be the person I hear as.
So you want to see it live action with a CG Oswald or purely animated? You want to go straight of Nim?
It would be as live action as Avatar is.
Or the Lion King, the live action Lion King.
Right. I mean, that is the most animated movie you could ever see.
Right.
So let's talk about the visual style. You've gone through a couple of different artists.
Yeah.
How do you decide the style that you're looking for? Is that something you came up with, or is that something that evolved over time as you went from artist to artist to artist?
No, I mean, listen, I let here it is. Wilson says the mid-Atlantic accent or the transatlantic accent is a conscientiously learned spoken English accent. It was fashionable in the late 19th century, early 20th century American upper class. Yes.
I listen. No offense to Wilson. Wilson, thank you for the information. Stop deflecting.
Thank you, Wilson. I appreciate you.
Once you're done answering Mark's question, you can bring up Wilson's answer. And thank you, Wilson.
Thank you, Wilson. Hopefully you supported Oswald.
Yes, we appreciate you, Wilson. But I see, and I see you're bashful. I think it's nice. Okay, but get this out. Let them know about this. And you put a lot of fucking hard work into this, dude.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's not. I'm not taking it as a joke, and I hope you don't think I am. It's nice seeing you squirm. I'm not gonna lie, right? But I'm not into this. So fucking let the people know, man. Let them know why you put in so much work. But answer Mark's question first.
Okay. Oh.
Now that we lose him.
He just kicked me out.
No, that was my.
I don't want to answer this question. Get out of here.
Fuck out of here with that guy. No. So the mainline artist is Jade Gonzalez. I've been working with her for about 12 years now. I think she's been putting up with me. So with her, okay, here's the thing. I've said this story before plenty of times. I had a windfall of cash or whatever, and I was looking for an artist, and I just saw her style, and I said, okay, this would be cool. And I'm a person of, I like styles. Okay. Like there's some people, they just want to see and that's not to say these people I'm about to mention don't have a style. They definitely have a style, but it is different than what I'm looking for. Right. So, but there's a more traditional comic book style. So let's say Neil Adams, John Buscema, and there's a whole school of artists from Jim Lee to David Finch to a whole bunch of artists who've grown from those styles, right? and that's a more traditional comic book style. Then you have different artists like a Scotty Young or a Sam Keith, right, or even a Bill Sienkiewicz, that are just have different styles, right? And Chris Bacalo, I was screw up his name, but different styles.
Bocello.
So those are the things. Bocello? Damion?
Yeah.
Bocello? Okay.
Yes.
But yeah,
I'm a rag, so I apologize.
that's all right. But yeah, that's the thing. I'm always looking for someone with different styles. So I saw her style, I liked it, and I said, okay, let me try her out. So she came in, I hired her. I just liked the style, and we kept on going. Then Damion, not Damion, Aurelio Tillis, I saw him, and hold on, there it is. I saw him. I saw his stuff, and I was just like, "Hey, man, this guy's stuff is awesome." I gave him some pinup work to do for one of my shorts. He did the pinup work, really liked it, and then I asked him to do a short story, right? And then eventually, I asked him to do this, and this is a story we're working on together, right? And this is one. This is the future, and this is what. It's funny. Like I tell people, is like the reason I do so many campaigns is to finance the future of the series, right? I'm literally running these on old money. So I have old money, and I'm working on it, and I'm financing these stories now, right? And the way he draws Oswald, I think, is hilarious. You know, it's a little different than Jade, but you know, it looks cool. I like it. You know, and it's not always easy. And this is Jeremy here with him, or his version of Jeremy. So yeah, you know,
now,
but it's
Peter David, my favorite. Sorry, JD, my favorite comic book writer of all time. Loves to at many conventions loves to talk about the artist-writer relationship and how he would write to cater to the artist's strengths and weaknesses. Now you're doing the reverse because you already had the story already written, right? So how do you do that? How do you find the style for what you've already written? Do you look for certain specific things, or is it more of a, like you said, just a feeling like, all right, this would be good for this story, this would be good for that story? How does that work?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, it was more of a thing. I would just write the story and hand it to the artist. I did my job. You got your job to do. You do your job, right? That's pretty much the relationship that I would have with these stories. Because okay, that was Dave. But because these are the stories, I can't adjust these stories because I'm telling one story, so I have to tell it the way I have to tell it, right? So I have to find an artist or artists that are willing to work with me within those parameters, you know. And pretty much that's it. I mean, there's not where the artist has a lot of latitude is I'll give him a lot of latitude in design. Like if you saw the way Reno draws Jeremy, it's very different than the way Jade, the way she draws Jeremy. Okay, but it is the same character, and I'm willing to allow them to live in that space together. You know, because I'm willing to allow when I did Passing Queens and Making Homes, I had orcs, right, and I had kobolds, right. So when I was explaining it to Jade, I was like, listen, orcs are kind of pig-like, right? So I wanted them human-esque, but with like pig-like features, you know, the tusks and maybe whatever, right? And then I said kobolds, they're kind of dog-like, you know. I wanted the same thing with kind of some, you know. No, I ended up with dogs, and I ended up with pigs. So that's what I got from her. And you know what? I was willing to allow that to go because I'm like, that's her prerogative. That's where when I gave it to her, that's what popped in her mind.
Okay.
Right. And she presented it to me and they looked great. And because of that, I was just like, run with it. Right. Why am I going to change what's working for you?
Well, look, when we look at comics that we know, right? Books always change from artist to artist, but as long as you remain consistent with the core factors, like let's say the Thing from the Fantastic Four, as long as you got that eyebrow and that underjaw, right? That overbite, whatever it is, rocking that underbite. Excuse me. you got the thing, right?
Thank you, Wilson.
The architecture. What is it about Jade? What does she do right about Oswald that makes you say, "Fuck yeah, man, keep it going"?
She draws an excellent version of him, right? One, and two, her storytelling is on point. You know, that's the one thing that if there's any flaw that I see from a lot of indies, from the artists, is storytelling. That's sometimes the biggest killer of anything that I've seen. Is sometimes, you know, obviously lettering is one of the things. That's my department, so I take that bullet when it's done wrong. But for her, it's storytelling, man. I mean, that's the thing that I feel like if there's any strength that she has, she's a really good illustrator, but I think she's a great storyteller. You know, and I think that's one of the things that's really brought me to her. And Aurelio is the same way. I think his storytelling and what gravitated me to what he's doing is that his approach is very different from hers. Right? So that's why I appreciate it. I like it so much because the approach is so different.
With your filmmaking background, do you find that it gives you a better eye when you're looking at storytelling ability?
No, because I mean, I'm not going to tell you it hurts because it doesn't hurt at all. It definitely does help, but I mean, you know, before I got into film, and I only had a very short run. Before I did that, I mean, it was like, you know, yeah.
I don't know. Explain it.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that one out because that's a good question because I've never really thought about it because it's one of those things where it's like, does it hurt? No. Does it help? I would say yes because it does. When I with the few short films that I shot, I didn't use storyboards, right? So I didn't have an artist illustrating anything out for me. I shot it straight from my head, and I blocked everything out myself. So in doing that blocking system, right, where you have to figure out the frame, that does help me figure something out. But here's the thing, though: I don't write my scripts that way. I don't write my scripts. Panel 1, scene 1, 3/4 worm's eye, dark. You know, frame it out. You know, make sure there's, you know, 3 pencils and a cheesecake on the counter. I don't do those things, right?
I can attest.
Right. Damion can attest to that because I wrote a script for him, right? And it's done in a way where the artist can interpret however they want to interpret that scene, you know. And I'm very comfortable with that. The only thing I ask is that what I put in is there, right? So if I ask you to put in a piece of cheesecake and 3 pencils, I want them on the counter, right? Because they're going to be germane to the story. There's going to be something about it.
You want to elaborate on that, Damion?
Well, it was interesting to get because we hadn't talked about format at all, and then when I got your script, it was just as, you know, visually stimulating as any other script I've seen. But it was so wide open that I was almost like, "Oh, wait, hold on." And he's like, "Did you send me the right script?" And you're like, "Yeah, this is how I write. This is what I do."
What page of the script did Jermaine show up on?
The team was on page 6.
Thank you. I got a little chuckle to show somebody paid attention at least. Shit. Look. This is not just your moment. This is Oswald's moment, right?
All right.
Let's put him up there on the pedestal. How many copies can somebody get right now of Oswald's story?
What do you mean? The current
how many things do you have from print? Whether it's volumes,
how many different Oswald stories that a person can purchase right now?
Currently,
if somebody has a big bag of money and they want to get all the Oswald, how much is that?
Well, yeah, there's in the campaign there is a level, right?
Forget about the campaign for a second. Tell me yourself, how many fucking copies? How many do you have right now? Forget it. Tell me. I want to know. All right. I'm saying this with love in my heart, dude. I'm not trying to dog it. You
Hello, Grant. Thanks for joining us.
Grant? What's doing, baby?
Hopefully you
What's up,
support
Grant?
it, Oswald. Like I said, you don't have to support it
Yeah.
financially. Just shut it out there. Let people know.
Right?
That
Can
is,
I pick up? Can I pick up Oswald Volume 1, 2, and 3, and in
Yes.
issues 7, 8, 9 from the fourth volume?
Yes.
Well, yeah. Okay.
yes. Well,
I'm
you're
just
asking me
looking
for
at my
how many? I think there's about
Right.
20 or 30 books
You
at this
should
point.
fucking know. This is your
I know.
baby. This is your baby.
No,
How many?
those
How
are
many
those
right
are facts I don't have to know. I know,
Okay.
but volumes 1 and 2 are available.
Good.
The first four issues of if you want to get the individual issues of Passing Queens and Making Homes, that's available.
Yes.
We were just passing through. That's available. Issue
Yes.
1 through 4. My Time with Clive 1 through 9 are all available.
Okay.
What is it? Oh, hold on. Oh, It Broke Free and Couldn't Read. That's available. All
How
4
many?
issues of that.
4
4
issues. So what is that? About 17 different single issues.
Yes, and It Came Seeking Me. That's another one.
Right. And
That's
of
a
those
one-shot.
17 issues, if you don't have all of them, how many of them are already collected in trades?
2. Passing Queens and Making Homes. That's 8 issues. That's in 2 separate volumes.
Okay. And you can pick that right now on the Kickstarter.
Yes, that's available. They're both available.
Is there a difference between the single issues and what's in the trades?
Sometimes they're remastered.
Sometimes they're remastered. What's
Right.
remastered? Yeah,
Usually the lettering.
The lettering is remastered.
I'm usually tweaking and fixing the lettering. Sometimes I touch up the dialogue. I'm constantly messing with these stories.
Are you
Okay.
George Lucasing it?
Yeah,
I was about to say that actually.
yeah. I am George Lucas in it, but not as extreme though.
Okay. And in the trades, what kind of back matter do we have in the trades? What's the extra on the DVDs? Right? Do we have deleted scenes? Do we have a cover gallery? Do we have?
I do put in
a
a cover
dictionary?
gallery. I do put in a cover gallery. That's about it.
You put in a cover gallery. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have like little bits and bobs for those people that want something extra, like the different spells that Oswald has used.
No,
It's
but that's a good thing you brought that up because I'm
Damn
looking to
fucking
write
right it is.
I'm looking to
It's
write a
fucking
role playing game. I'm looking to write a role playing game that will encapsulate the entire world of Oswald.
So
Okay.
that goes back to my question: what do you do after you write the story? You got a role playing
There
game
you
going on.
go.
Right, there you go. So I'm looking to
Me
write
and
a role
Mark are
playing.
working here, baby. Me and Mark
Here
are
we go.
working here. Okay, you brought Damion on as a shill for you to deflect. Hey, Damion, do you like my stories? Do you like my script? And Damien's like, well, yes, Calderon, as long as you keep paying me, I will say what you want me to say. Excuse me.
You know, it freaked me out. It freaked me out a little bit at first. I won't lie. I looked at it, I was like, oh shit, what do I do? Like, where do I start? But after we talked, it was like, okay, now I get what you're doing, and I could like pace it, and I could feel him out. Me.
Damion, calm down. The only person that's supposed to be filling him up is his wife. Relax. Slow down,
All
baby.
right. Jay just brought up an interesting question.
Yeah.
This is something I've been meaning to ask you for all the years that I've known you.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Why haven't you had Daphne draw your stuff?
she draws tall tales.
Hot
I
seat.
know she draws tall tales, but why don't she
And-
draw the rest of your
And
stuff?
hold on. And she's illustrated an issue of it was My Time with Clive. She did one of the issues in that.
One.
One, yeah.
She's right there. Why isn't she
Yeah.
doing more?
I mean, she should be giving you at least one
All right.
pin up per release. You know,
Listen.
one trading card.
Hold on.
I was just very curious.
Hold on. All right. You guys have not been paying attention. That woman is busy.
I was going to say those words and not say anything.
Yeah.
Hold on,
That
just a
woman is
second.
busy.
All right.
She is working on her book, Ego Raven, right?
Yes.
Plus she's working on Tall Tales. Okay?
Oh, hold on a second.
Plus
Hold on a second. No plus nothing. Who's the man of the house right now?
Wow.
Who's the man? Who's the-
I always compare
He's gonna
you
beat
to
my ass.
Trick
He's gonna
never.
beat my ass for saying that.
the Jimmy and Amanda of
That was-
Independent.
That was me being 100% facetious. Okay.
Yes, I know. No, but seriously, I mean, in the end, I mean, she's doing Tall Tales, and that in and of itself is a lot of work. But she has done when we do when I do pro stories. Rap.
My,
Hey, you okay?
my wife chimed in. You see,
Oh,
I can't
oh,
have
yeah.
I gotta be on my best behavior. Hold on a second.
There you go.
Okay.
That's right. I gotta remember whenever I see this blue rose, this is the time. Uh-huh. Jay,
So,
you know,
so in a more
we won't mention any of those other
professional
women.
manner, I would say I always considered you and Daphne to be like the Jimmy and Amanda of underground independent comics.
Ooh,
So
nice,
what is
nice.
the incentive
Jimmy,
decentive to not work together more often? Like even when you first started out, because you knew her back in the day. Like,
Yeah.
did you
Jimmy and
decide,
Amanda
all right,
or the Peonies? I'm thinking more.
I would say Jimmy and Amanda. That's what I would say. That these two are like that.
Really?
To me.
I would go with Peonies because they're the team, dude. They're the team.
Well, you want to hear something funny? I
And
mean,
they're indies.
yeah, back in the day, and she could correct me if I'm wrong. She had asked me to write her. I don't know if it was this story that she's working on now, but she had asked me to write something for her that she was going to produce for herself. But it's her story, right? And I told her flat out no.
What?
Right? Yeah, I said flat out no. Do you know why I said no?
Why?
Because it wouldn't be her story anymore. Right?
I'm lost.
What do you mean you lost?
I get it.
If she asked me, because she was going to plot it out and she wanted me to write it, and I was like, but if you ask me to write it, it's not going to be your story.
Say that to the countless ghostwriters out there in the world today.
Right, but the thing is, I'm not those guys. You understand? You're going to present, if you present me with an idea, I'm going to present you with my story. You know, it might sound...
But she's hiring you to do the job. She's hiring you to do the work of following her plot.
Listen, bro. I went to work professionally, and I had Pioneer paying me money. And they were like, here's what you do. And I presented them my plot. They were like, okay, good, go with that. And I wrote that, and there it is. And I wrote what I wrote for them, and it's similar.
We're going to bring this back.
Okay, good. We'll bring it back.
When you deflect, it just gets under my skin. I swear it gets under my fucking skin. I'm trying to give you the shine. I'm trying to give you, your platform, bro. I want you to tell the world. No,
I didn't think I was deflecting.
Yeah, you are. That is your go-to. You are You are Captain America with that invisible shield, with that energy shield. That's what you're doing, bro. I mean, you're Wonder Woman with that clear shield. You're deflected, baby. You know what I'm saying? Right? Yes. Look, I joked. Everybody knows I have all the love in the world for Daphne, right? Those who don't, right? I do think she's the better creator of the two in the household, hands down, right? Okay. But this is your moment right now, right? And you're and I said this earlier today. You're always giving people time to shine,
right?
Okay, so I joked about you being on the hot seat, but god damn it, bro, let them see how big your fucking diamond is. I mean, because you spent a lot of time putting Oswald together, and you guys spent a lot more time keeping money going, and money that we want people to keep contributing. I mean, look, dude, as of right now, you're what? Almost $500. You're doing fucking good.
We're halfway there to the 1,000.
We're halfway to the 1,000, and look at that. You're 540, bro. You're 540. You're $200 away from your.
I keep knocking Mark out.
I'm not going to say anything else. I'm just going to sit here.
Right? And
no, I keep hitting him. It's because I keep hitting. There's something at the control screen on the bottom, but your button is real close to it. So.
Whatever. What a son of a gun. Listen, in the last hour that this bad boy has been up, hour and a half. In the last hour, hour and a half that this bad boy is up, we've had 20 people that want to see more Oswald, right? They want to see this grow, right? There's people who are watching right now that want to know more about Oswald before they put down their bucks.
Yes.
Talk to them about it. Let's go.
Let's go. So ask you a question. What do you got?
We are asking you questions, but you're telling us about past history. You're telling us about, what you did on the train this morning. You're telling us what you had for lunch 2 weeks ago.
Wait, chill.
Okay.
So Mark asked you, why is it I don't work on with Oswald with Daphne more? And the truth is that she is busy.
She's busy.
Now,
Perfect. Good.
here
That's why I
is
said she is the more successful one in the house. She's fucking busy, baby.
she's busy. Now,
Yes.
we have done a crossover
Good.
with Eagle Raven and Oswald, where I wrote a short story where the two characters have crossed over. We offered it up as a PDF. So if you backed both campaigns, you got the PDF file.
Nice.
So that happened. We're eventually going to do the print book. So
At
we'll
what
see when
stage in Oswald's life did that happen? Stage 1, stage 2, or stage 3?
that's in stage 2. That would be during Dream, because that's where he
During
encounters Eagle Raven, where they get together in Dream.
So, all right, another question about the dream era of Oswald. So, would the dream era of Oswald open you up from constraints to allow Oswald to appear in the Unstoppable Comics universe and have a story maybe with the Interceptor? Or
Right.
would that be able to open up, with something that Damien's doing or something that Mark is doing?
But that's why, okay. I remember when I first came up with the Dream stuff, right? One of the reasons I did it was because, okay, I have him in New York City. I have him surrounded by Fae, Calcians, Grogs, all these crazy races, living in the middle of Manhattan. All this craziness is going on. And I was like, you know what? I don't have enough space to tell all the stories I want to tell. So what do? I put him in Dream, where everything's possible.
Okay.
So that's why I was able to do that crossover with Daphne's character. And yeah, if we could always do a crossover with any of the other characters.
So that allows you opportunities to free. So if somebody were more familiar with a product like, let's say, Sandman from Vertigo, right? Would this Dream era be the equivalent of when the Sandman was trapped in the basement? Or would this be something else? Because in that 2 weeks of his proper timeline, right? Oswald is not practicing in the world he needs to be practicing in.
Well, no, actually, here's the thing, though. In the 2 weeks that he's there, he lives about an 80-year life in Dream, okay? And in that 80 years...
80-year life in Dream, but 2 weeks in his time, right?
Correct.
2.5,
right.
3, whatever.
Yeah, about 2.5 weeks. Well, it's 2 weeks.
It's not defined. Okay.
Right. So 2 weeks. But when he wakes up, he still remembers everything that happened in that story, during that period. That the name of that story is called I Was There and I Remember. Okay? So he was in that place and he remembers everything, very clearly. What he does, though, is later on is he just, how you go through something traumatic, right? We've all been through something traumatic.
Yes.
You don't even have to mention what it is, right? But you can automatically just, boom, you're there, right? But how you go through your day-to-day life and you just push that behind you, right? You just push it, right? You just don't look at that little dark corner, right?
Yep.
He's done that for a long time, okay? But he still knows all of the lessons that he learned, right? Okay. So he still has all that huge base of knowledge.
So in that time that he was not taking care of what he needed to take care of in his world,
right?
Did things get worse? Right? Did he take 2 steps back?
No. What it did actually was it launched him way forward, because it gave him a knowledge base that he didn't have. Right? Okay. He stepped into Dream, the equivalent of a 19 or a 20-year-old kid. He came out someone that's 100 years old.
But still in the body of a 19, 20-year-old kid.
I think Jay was asking what happens in those 2 weeks.
Yes.
Oh,
that he wasn't around.
Did he make
it worse?
Did
the absence of him for those 2 weeks make things go to the
No.
crapper?
Did he make a music video with Paula Abdul?
No. No, it didn't make it worse. The idea was the entities that wanted to trap him in Dream, because what they wanted to do was trap him in Dream and kill him in Dream. If he dies in Dream, he dies in reality. That was the goal.
Oh, so Freddy Krueger popped up.
No, not exactly, but but yeah, but it, this is more along the lines of Call of Cthulhu. Coming
Spell it.
Cthulhe.
Yeah. So where does the A come in after the K? Right? There's no A.
Well, hold on.
Just an A.
No,
The
it's
A
you.
is
I'm
silent
sorry.
like the P in swimming pool.
No. But and the thing is, it's
swimming pool.
Yeah, you don't hear the P when you're in the swimming pool.
I'm thinking before the double O. That's great. I love it. Okay.
no.
Got it.
But the thing
Oh,
is,
God, I'm done for the night. Thank you. Thank you.
here's a little history lesson for you.
Uh,
Cthulhu is not really supposed to be pronounced Cthulhu. That's how we pronounce it. H.P. Lovecraft meant it to be pronounced something like Kulu. Like almost like you're spitting. Kulu. Like it's a word we're not supposed to be able to pronounce. That's why you hear a lot of the word like you hear in his stories. It's if I was to tell you the name, you'd go insane, right? Or you wouldn't be able to pronounce it. It's not you can't pronounce it in human. Like a human wouldn't be able to pronounce it.
Damion, Mark, you notice how much more self-assured he is when he's talking about other work?
Well,
right?
yeah.
When he's not talking about his own. That's what I want, though, dude. Right? You know what's funny? Because when I talk to you one-on-one, you're it's coming out of you. There's no stumbling blocks. There's no deflecting, right? There's no bashful moments. So why is there a change when we're on screen with the guys, right?
Why you gotta bother me, bro?
Because I want you to.
What's wrong with you?
Let's pivot. We'll give JD a break, and we'll ask Damion, when you working on a script that's written in such a way, how do you approach it as an artist?
Well, I had to check in with him first. Like, that was my even though it was my character. No, sincerely, because as an artist, the way I feel about it is I want to tell the story the writer wrote. Like, even if it's my character, like I want to tell their story, or I wouldn't even have asked them in the first place to do something. Okay. So I just approached him like there's not a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff. Like it's a really good story. It's a thing I never thought of, and it's something that I really don't want to give too much away of, just simply because it's really good, and will add a dimension to my character that I didn't even realize I hadn't thought of. But it was a little daunting, and it was like, okay, so now I've got to figure out how to pace it and how to do all that. And so it was really just it's in two files right now, one at work and one here at home, where I'm still kind of going through it because I had a little lead time on it before I needed to have it. So I'm kind of breaking it down into pages. And once I'm done with that, I am going to throw it back to you, JD, and just be like, hey, can you take a look? Does this feel right to you? But it's freeing and not.
and all right.
So while it's not the same level as this story, I'm gonna make the connection with. Are you guys familiar with John Byrne and his run on Namor?
Yeah.
And you remember after he stopped, he gave it over to Jay Lee.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the stories how he gave the stories to Jay Lee?
No.
So this is hearsay, but it's good hearsay. Because if you read the book, you notice that the stories kind of really shifted when Jay Lee took over the book. It was a lot of splash pages and not much going on. So I was in my comic book school, and I was working. One of the teachers worked with him. So this is how I know the story. And I said, why did the story change so much from where it was? And this is what he said. He said, Jay Lee said that John Byrne said, it starts here and it ends here. Go forth. So while it's not as wide open as that, is that kind of how it is, that he gives you a lot of story? You just kind of have to figure it out on your own in the middle?
Yeah, exactly. There's, like, I sat down and read the whole thing, and it was a complete story. And it was basically trying to find, it's hard to put this into words, I'm sorry. It's basically was trying to find the where the page turns for me, and find that first, and then find where, this is where the page turns and what things are going to be broken down onto that page and how. And that's kind of what I'm doing now, is breaking it down into panels and pages and things like that. But like I said, it's fun. It's a little more fun than like just getting a full finished script. But at the same time, it's like, I just want to make sure I'm doing the story service, you know?
So on the flip side, Mr. Calderon, bringing it back to you, is that
Okay.
something that you had planned to do? If your artist be like, hey, this is how it is, figure it out, or do you kind of have it in your mind exactly, well, this is where it kind of should be, and you're still given a playground to work with, or is it just, here you go, figure it out, this is where we start, this is the most important stuff, this is how it ends? In a more fleshed out manner than John Byrne did with
Yeah, well, it's way more fleshed out than that. I mean, you got to understand. I mean, the way I write is I'll give a basic scene, and I'll give all the dialogue and all of the if there's any exposition, you know, I'll put that all in. So the artist has all the dialogue. The other thing that they'll also have is they'll have facial inflections, right? Because I don't like the, you know, and then words coming out of their mouths, you know, when they're like, you know, those things from the 1990s, you know, the Image comics, you know.
Don't knock
right?
it. Okay.
Don't knock what?
Don't deflect either. Say your story. You're looking for a pause. I feel like I should fucking backhand you every time you fucking do this shit. You fucking do this. Finish the shit because you want a good path. Just try to make things interesting. Go ahead, go.
Right. Go. So what I do is I write another dialogue, and I write in facial inflections. Is the character smiling? Are they laughing? Are they frowning? Are they, you know, just to give everything, all the information, so that I can see that emotional intent in the character's face, because it's very important to give that, right? Because that's the one thing that film has that we don't, right? Is that inflection, right? You can watch, like when I was a kid in the 80s, we were getting anime. I got Akira, and the first time I saw Akira, no subtitles, not dubbed, straight in Japanese, don't know nothing, just watching the animation, okay? But you know what's going on because of the inflection in the voices, right? The way the characters look in their faces, that's all you need, you know? And I remember I was at a friend's house, and he popped in a movie, some Godzilla movie. He had a friend of his there, and Martin King, God rest his soul. Martin was there, and he starts talking while we're watching the movie. It's in Japanese, no subtitles, no nothing. And he starts talking, and we just all turn. It was me, Daphne, my other friend Matt, because we were all accustomed to watching these movies just like that. And he starts talking. We turn around and we look at him like, "Yo, bro, like, what are you doing? We're trying to watch this movie." And Dave Cooper turned to us, our other friend. He was an inker over at DC. He looked at us and he was just like, "Yo, he's translating." And I was just like, "Really?" We were like, "You speak Japanese?" And we're like, "Oh." Anyway, so yeah. But yeah.
What does this have to do with the wall? God damn it. How many fucking times do I got to say this tonight? You son of a gun.
It had to do with the inflection thing. I just moved in the other direction real quick. But anyway, but seriously.
You touched on the thing I felt was most important. What you said was the emotional beats, right?
Right.
That's how I write a script. Okay. Mm-hmm. So when
I've yet to see it in that, but yes.
You have what?
I've yet to see that, but yes.
You have yet to see what? One of my scripts?
Yeah.
Or one of my books? Or that emotion?
I've yet to see any emotional content. I'm sorry.
You're deflecting, you motherfucker.
Go ahead, go. I'm sorry.
You know what? I lost track of what I was going to say.
That was the bullet. Mark, you got anything?
So look, an hour and a half into tonight's show, you are at. Let's bring up Oswald for a second.
All right, hold on. Let me bring it up. Okay. And I'll try not to knock out Mark again. But I do have a question for you guys. I really do have a question for you. No, I do.
It's a 2-hour show. The half-hour mark, you can throw the question to us.
Yeah. Hold on.
So while he's pressing buttons, is the God honest truth about Jay Lee and the John Byrne? I could not believe. I was like, well, it makes so much sense why the story didn't go anywhere.
Right? He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready to do that, right? And it showed when he was doing Hellshock. He wasn't a good storyteller on his own.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, his covers now are incredible, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's a very nice guy. I met him.
Good.
But I was like, wow.
You know, it must have been hard for him and for Jim, being sons of Stan, to look for work.
That's not right. Anyway, listen, I'm gonna play this video. All right?
Do you want to?
Yeah, I want to.
Hello, everyone. My name is JD Calderon, and I'm the writer and creator of the Oswald Chronicles. And I'm very excited to bring you this Oswald adventure called On the Wings of Deidre, where we find Diane, one of Oswald's guardians, convincing her cousin Deidre to watch over Oswald so she can deal with a task assigned to her by the order she works for. With Deidre begrudgingly accepting, Diane leaves her post, leaving her cousin, who is pursued by several goblin children and the monster that stalks them. This is a dark fairy tale filled with romance, horror, laughter, action, joy, mystery, and betrayal. Please note that we have covers by the awesome Jade Gonzalez, and special alternative covers by Emmanuel Mannix, David Jackson, and Ian Warrento, with colors by Slamet Gugino. So choose a level that best suits you and enjoy another grand adventure with a mouse most unusual. Thank you all for your time. JD out.
So where's the sexy half-naked cover?
No, I don't. Oswald is exempt from those. Thank you.
Not Deirdre. She could do, with a little slippage. What do you go back to us for a second? Pull up the fucking campaign, bro.
The hell?
It's your show. Give me the controls, goddammit.
No.
Go to the single screen on the fucking campaign. Take our faces off. Take our faces off. Hit the button over to do the single screen on the goddamn campaign.
What are you talking about?
Oh my God.
He wants the campaign to be full screen.
Yes.
No, I don't know how to do that.
What are you talking about? Oh, you don't have the...
No, I don't have that. I don't have that option.
Oh.
Yeah. Eventually, I probably have to invest in just getting the full version of
$25 a month. You're okay.
I know, but I'm
Wait,
cheap
25
as
is the
fuck.
full version? How much is the
I thought it
non-full
was
version?
30.
The not full version is free. Then there's 25, and then there's 49. 49.
25 per month?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they charge you by month, or you have to pay like all in advance?
By month.
You could pay it all in advance, and you save 10%, or you can pay by the month.
Yeah. The one I had, the version I had, they did a special, and it was $10 a month, but it's limited. Like I can do only 3 channels.
Let's talk about Oswald. You son of a bitch. I mean, how many times do I got to say tonight? I'm trying to give you the time to shine. Jeez, the fucking show's almost over. Oh my God.
How are the 49ers doing?
It's like they're up 16-9.
Yay!
Yes. Okay. Let's scroll down, please. Sorry,
That's why he's still in a good mood.
All right. You got 22 backers. You're 566.
Ooh, that's a bad feedback.
You're $184 away from hitting your funding goal. Good job. Good job for your first 2 hours of the night. All right.
Mm-hmm.
What can people get? Let's see down there.
Oh,
Look at that. 75% of the goal. All right. What else? Scroll down. Scroll down. There you go. Not that. Scroll down. No, scroll down on the bottom. Yes. Jesus Christ. Okay. Look, these are the pages from Jade Gonzalez, right?
Jade Gonzalez, yes. This is also a cover by her.
Great. Is that going to be the A cover or the B cover?
This is the A cover.
Out of how many?
There's going to be 2 covers. There's this one and there's one done by Mannix.
Okay.
Emmanuel. He just sent me the illustration. I don't have the colors yet, but that's coming.
Okay, so something that's going to be revealed later on.
Yes.
When you have the colors, is that something that you think of beforehand of what the colors are going to be? Is there something that you just give to the artist, let the colors come back, and you're like, I like this, I don't like that?
Yes.
So you give notes?
No, well, I give notes after, but only if there's an issue. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm loving the grayscale. Some people just do black and white line work. I know for my zombie book, it was just black and white line work. So this is nice. Wow, you got a lot of. You're really pushing the envelope on that 9-panel grid, though. I mean, you go for the gold. You go for the gold right down there. but I like the way she's breaking it up, right? So there's a lot going on in there, but it seems like there's energy. So that's awesome. This piece down here is done by.
This is also Jay Gonzalez. This was colored by Tovio Rogers. This was colored.
Okay.
This one is a little bit on the older side. This was done a few years ago.
And this is going to be used as a.
This is the cover to issue 2. This is the A cover to issue 2.
Is this going to be what do they call that? The variant, the trade dress variant, or non?
No. This is the main cover to issue number 2. This will have the trade dress on it, but it's also available as a version.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Then this is the cover done by David Jackson.
That's not David's work.
That is David's work.
Really, it looks good.
What the hell are you trying to say about David?
That's not David's work because it's good. That's terrible.
Seriously.
Oh my god!
I'm not trying to knock David.
Wait. How could you not knock? That is the worst thing you could possibly say. That's not his work.
You know what? I know how he's done faces before, and the faces he's done have not looked like that. So okay.
I know. I'll interject just slightly on that. He's done a book for me that I'm going to be putting out sometime around middle of the year, and he's gotten a lot better with how he structures his faces. It was he had a lot wider set features, and in the last 2 years, when he's been laid up, he's had literally nothing to focus on but this.
He's leveled up.
He's gotten better.
That's all. It's not knocking him.
Saying a person has improved as opposed to saying that's not his stuff because it's good is two different things.
Go ahead, Mark. Get him, Mark. Get him.
Okay. Let me put this out there in public. David, I apologize, but if you're watching the show, you've seen how frustrated I've gotten with Calderon tonight. And I went through this whole fucking thing, which usually takes me to show plus. Okay? But because of this SOB up on top, I went through this already, all right, before the night was even up.
Wait, put up what Carlos Rafael put up on the post.
Hold on.
It's a valid question.
No, you wouldn't have. This is the first time this story is being produced as a 3-issue limited series. It's a 3-parter. It's the first time it's being produced as a comic book. So.
There you go. So you do not have it. So share it out. Let people know. And if you can afford it, buy one.
Do it. There's no question. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it
and
now.
This one is also. This is also illustrated by Jade Gonzalez.
Okay.
And this is also colored by Tovio Rogers. Oh, and just to say, this was colored by Slamet Lugino. So
okay. You pick some of the best colorists I've seen. Like legitimately.
Dude, it is that for me is the hardest thing is finding good colors. I mean it's tough, man. That's the tough part, finding a good one. Okay. I found Slamet and I was just like, yo, I'm sticking with you, buddy. But there's a couple of other ones that I do use that are really good. This was illustrated by Ian Warrento. Ian has worked in the industry for a minute. I've always liked this style. I love this piece. It's funky. I love Oswald's face here. Yeah, and this is also colored by Slamet. And I was just like, I just think this is funky. But this is the alternative cover to issue 3. Just like this is the A cover to issue 3 as well.
Okay.
So as an indie producer and a Kickstarter person, does it become financially feasible to have a certain amount of different covers? There's like, if you do like 30, is it the same as if you do 8?
See, it's funny. We're getting into a I do these covers because I want to do these covers. Okay. To say I've been like usually doubling the amount of money I make back on the covers, which isn't a lot. There are other campaigns that do phenomenally more, right? If you see someone like Polito or Larry or Tom, they got various multiple covers, but they're doing way more business on those types of covers because of the types of books they're doing, right? It's a little different. I'm doing a fantasy book with a mouse, so my results are different than what they're doing with their with Bad Girl and Good Girl comics. So it's a little different. Now, if I had multiple, I don't think the multiple cover, like I said, I do it because I like it, and I also try to use the artwork for other things. I use it for promotional materials. I use trading cards, pins, wherever I can use them, I use them. So
I use them. Like my last book had 4 different covers. I use the 4 different covers because I'm trying to give those who are backing it early something different than what people are going to get later on, right? Whatchamacallit. And I understand how financially strapping it is to get 8, 10, 25, 30 covers.
Right, because
back on all of them.
Right, you get 10 covers or you get 8 covers, and that's probably the budget for the interiors of the book. You know? So depending on who you hire. So yeah, I try to, like I said, I've been doing one.
Don't scroll past this.
Don't scroll
past this, because we were asking these questions earlier.
Okay. All right. Where do you want me to stop?
Go up, go up, go up, go up, go up. Okay. So these are the creators.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, stop. JD Calderon does not look like a mouse.
What do you mean? That's my best picture. That's my best profile.
That's his high school picture right there.
I'm just saying.
Trust me, even in high school, he didn't have that.
Here, do this. Do this in the air. At the camera.
Do what?
I said,
Do the pose. Do the pose.
Do the pose.
Oh.
Oswald pose.
Oh my God, you are such a
other hand, the other way.
Oh my God.
Oh, listen, I can't see it. I'm scrolling. I don't see it on the screen.
I feel like a parent trying to take your picture at Christmas. JD, come here. JD, come here. Stand there. Come here. Fix your tie.
Yes.
Jesus. All right, so that's Jade.
That's
right.
Jade, yes.
Nice to meet you, Jade. Okay. Yes. All right, this is the...
Where did you get the name Oswald from?
Oh, yeah.
That's a good question.
Well, that's 2 for 2 today.
Right. That's a good question because honestly, I don't remember. I think we all know the name Oswald, right? I just like the way it sounded, and I'm pretty sure I was like, okay, that sounds like a good name, and I'm pretty sure that's why I chose it.
All right, Mr. Rosario, here's your chance. Why did he come up with the name of Oswald?
Because when he was coming up with it, Tim Burton featured Pee Wee Herman or Paul Rubens as an Oswald Cobblepot in his movie, and Calderon went to go see that about 7 times in the theater.
No, that's absolutely wrong.
Listen, like I said, Jobu got no refill. Okay?
You'd have been better off saying Lee Harvey Oswald. Right?
Oswald would have been, that would have been a great one. No. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I stood on the spot. I went to Dallas twice, and I went by the grassy knoll. Not that I'm a conspiracy theorist or anything like that. I just there's the museum there, it's a little eerie. Hey, this is the place. The guy was assassinated. Let's put up a museum here and sell tchotchkes. Go up for a second, please, because I didn't get to see the acrylic very well. I like the acrylic now because it seems like. Oh, I thought that was his ear breaking out the back of the.
It is. This is his ear right here.
Oh, it is. Okay,
yeah.
I thought that was the clip.
No. He's casting a spell.
Oh, very nice.
And that's his ear. Yeah.
I like that design. I think it's very nice. Okay.
Yeah. This is actually. This is from the cover.
Gotcha.
This is from David's cover. There he is.
Okay.
Right.
Very cool. So, is this something you paid for, or something you did on your own?
What do you mean? The acrylic pin?
Yeah.
No, man, I paid for that. How am I going to do that on my
own? Damion and I both know how to do that on our own. Damion, I know you know how to do that.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for those of us who don't have 3D printers, I paid for that to have that done. Thank you.
You only need a 3D printer for one, and then you just cast it in resin, and you keep doing it with clear.
Well, let me ask you a question. How long would that take you to do?
A long.
Right. I did 40. I did 45 of them. Well, I have 45 of them available. The set I ordered was 50.
It took him 2 minutes to press the button.
Well, but here's the thing, though, is what is it? I think I got it from Sticker Mule. So Sticker Mule, they'll have sales. What?
I said, okay, yeah, I got a bus too.
Yeah, so Sticker Mule they did a sale. It was like $29 for 50 of them. So I was like, okay, that's cool. It makes a nice giveaway. So there you go.
Yeah, no, it's great. And look, is that, it's a piece of paper sandwiched in between two acrylics, yes?
I would believe so, yeah.
They're
I think they're printed on the back.
They're printed on the back, and they still have the plastic on the front if you don't peel them off. So
right.
I had a question real quick about artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Having tried to draw Oswald, because I'm admittedly, I know but I am a fan. I really love this story. It's really hard to draw Oswald, for me. And then I wondered why, and I started looking over some of the books and everything, and I'm like, because Jay just sort of set the standard of what Oswald looks like.
Right.
So obviously you love our work, or else you wouldn't keep hiring her, and people love it too, or they wouldn't be buying the book. So how does that affect other artists that you'd be interested? I'm not saying me or anything, just general. Other artists you'd be interested in working on something for you. Do you feel like that is the definitive Oswald, or do you? I know you showed the artwork earlier where you had someone else do it in their own style. So is that more what you lean for, or is it something definitive that you feel in your mind, or you just want the feel of it?
Okay, so that's a good question. What I do is whenever I hire an artist, this is what I do. Let me see. Okay, what I do is I tend to send them artwork, all right, for a new artist, what I'll do is I will send them all the best artwork I've ever had done for Oswald.
So you don't have a style guide made up for them yet?
No, I don't. I've never had a style guide. All I do is I send them the best pieces that I have. So then that way it sets a bar. It sets their brain automatically. They go, fuck, I have to reach this to make it. So yeah, that's basically what I do is I send them the best pieces. So then that way they're like, oh, this guy's not playing around. He wants the best work out of me. Right. And if I pick, if I'm paying you to do artwork, I've chosen you for a reason. I've chosen you because I feel you can be in this group. Right. So psychologically, I'm working on the artist. I'm like, look, I'm choosing you because I have faith that you can reach this level. Not everybody does. Right. I have a folder filled of failures, filled with them. Okay. I have a folder and it's just artwork that will not see the light of day. And I hire a person. They'll do one piece, and I'll be like, "Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Love you." And I pay them, and that's it. And I move on. You don't. I don't begrudge them. I'm like, look, it doesn't work. Do you know how many times I've been to conventions? This was before I was really heavily doing the internet thing. I would go to conventions, and I would encounter artists from Marvel and DC, and I'd be like, look, could you draw my character? Right? Do a pinup or whatever. And I'd be willing to pay them, and they would look at it with stark terror. They'd be like, a mouse? What are you kidding me? I could do Superman. I'd be like, no, I don't want Superman. I don't want Batman either. I don't want Nightcrawler. Thank you. But, they see the mouse and they get intimidated, because it requires a certain mindset. But then I've run across other guys where, I was like, damn, I don't know if they could do this, right? But they do it, and they do it incredible. And it's just like, all right. So, it just depends. Everybody's a little different, man.
You're $116 away from being funded.
About the audition, quote unquote, audition process. If this was a television production or a movie production, a lot of times the audition process is done on their dime. So, what is your reasoning behind paying for audition work?
Oh, because that's because I don't think it's right? Because here's the thing: I may use that artwork. Right, at my discretion at any time. I may not use that artwork, but I'm not going to put that on the artist. Right, I'm not going to put that on the artist. I feel that if I'm going to ask you to do something, I have faith that you're going to do a good piece. Dude, I've spent money testing out people. I've commissioned people to color pages for me, and it was just like I would give them 10 pages like an idiot instead of just giving them 3. I would give them 10 pages, say color these 10 pages. I've gotten those pages back, and it'd be like trash, and it's just like, and I pay them in full. I don't blink, I don't budge. I pay in full, and I'm like, here you go. No problem. Thank you. This didn't work out. Maybe next time. And I move on. Because I think if you're going to hire an artist and the rates are set, you pay those rates. You pay with the agreed upon amount. If there's something, like if I could use it and there's something wrong, then I have them fix it. That's different. If they give me something and it's just like completely off and completely wrong, I pay them and I move on. Now, the one mistake I made is, like I said, I give them 10 pages. Should have only given them 1 or 2. That's the mistake. But usually I would say give them 1 or 2 pages, let them test them out, take a look. You're like, okay, that works. That doesn't work. Great. There you go. Then you just move on. But I believe wholeheartedly in paying people for the test pages, but it's invite only, right? So, you just can't send me stuff and expect me to pay you for it.
Right.
I'm gonna, I will contact you and then we'll move forward from there.
All right.
Yeah.
So we have we got about 14 minutes left, right there, JD?
Yeah. So let me ask this damn question.
That's what I was gonna say. Ask the question.
Let me ask this damn question. Listen, there are a lot of, I don't know if you guys noticed. There's a lot of dudes popping campaigns right now. Right? I don't know if have you guys noticed?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now, my question is to you is this. Do you think, 1, they're too many? 2, do you guys intend on backing campaigns this year? Do you guys have any intention of backing a lot of campaigns this year?
Who's
Jay,
first?
go for it.
I just backed one tonight.
Oh.
Do I believe there's a lot of campaigns out there? Yeah. Yeah, but I don't think that's a bad thing. All right.
That's
Thanks,
nice. Carlos, that's incredible. Carlos lives in California?
No, Seattle.
Seattle. Okay. Wow, it's even
No,
further.
Oregon.
That's even further.
Yeah.
Wow. How the hell is it I didn't get my package? I'm just saying.
Not only you're not getting your package, you're not
I
getting
work for the post office. So what's your excuse?
I know.
You know what? Because I've been going through the list sequentially, right? First, second, third, fourth, fifth. We haven't gotten your name yet, sir. All right, Damien's name is on the list also.
I'll say I'm a W. I'll wait till last. I don't even care.
You had Damien complaining. You hit Damien. Shit.
Go for it, Dave. Let him have it.
So, are there a lot of books out there? Yes. Is that a bad thing? No.
No, I don't think it's
No. Because it shows that, people are finally understanding they don't need to chase the direct market route, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they want to tell a story, then you know what? They can go this route and tell a story and maybe keep from going broke, right? Maybe they can at least break even or at least get close to breaking even. Maybe some people could find a way to start a career out of this. Maybe somebody from this batch breaks through to the next level and gets other eyes outside the comic book market to look at the comic book market for the future, right? There's an inherent collectability in the comic book crowdfunding market that a lot of people have yet to discover because a lot of books haven't hit that next level. But once they do, they're going to start showing up in people's key issues lists. Watch. So yeah, let this stuff happen, man. If the money's there, fucking take it. Because they're going to come a point where the money's not going to be there, or B, the platform will have evolved into something else. Whether it's Kickstarter, Indiegogo, crowdfunder, Zoop, this era is still evolving. And who knows what's going to come out of it.
All right, fair enough. Damien, what are your thoughts?
I'm kind of in the same place. Like, I do think it's evolving. And I think that, if it's there, take it. If it's there and you're producing a quality product and you're giving people what they want when they want it, you deliver, do it. I don't have any campaigns right now, so I don't feel like maybe I have a lot to say on that issue because it doesn't directly affect me personally. In that I'm not in the trenches with other people at the moment.
Right.
That said, I probably will be backing less this year just because I have a lot going on financially, personally, towards my work and everything. So there's multiple layers to it. That there's people that I know if they are going to be putting out books, I'll probably be getting them, and you guys definitely. And that's not just because I'm sitting here with you. Like, sincerely, my wife. I told my wife, I was like, JD's campaign's up. Can I go? And she's like, I was like, oh, let me see. And I told her, and she was like, well, if it was anybody else, I'd say no. Just go on. I'm like, all right, fine. She doesn't even know you. She's met you like once, I think. So, but she reads your books and she likes your books.
Oh,
so, I mean, that's going to be my main course of action throughout the year. Do I know them? Do I feel this is something I need to have? This is something that I want to read. I want to enjoy. I want to ingest, because I think as creators, everything that we read becomes part of who we are, becomes part of what we do. So it's definitely going to be a thing I'm focusing on, if that answered the question.
Yes, it does, actually. Mark?
I've always made the connection between comic books and movies. I've said this many times. I've worked at Blockbuster for 10 years. I've said this many times. I've worked at a movie theater for 10 years. I've said this many times. I think it doesn't matter how much stuff is out there, because there's always going to be a lot of stuff out there. It's, as Jay says, the distribute. Where can people find it? Where can they go? If it makes it easier, if more places out there makes it easier for you to find stuff, then it's great. That's the important thing, because if you only have a Blockbuster, they're only going to have a certain thing, and all the other creative stuff that's been made is just going to fall to the wayside. Now there's a bazillion different streaming services. There's a bazillion different ways to get your product out there. So I think it's good. And yes, there are more stuff to fill up what the streaming services need. So we need more, I think, places for people to go to find comic books, or a better system in place to get people all together to get their books out there. I think one of the biggest problems is that independence is just one book, or maybe two, whereas all the big companies have like slew of different titles and stuff on a consistent basis. So that makes it easier to find. So if there's some way that people can like get together, so if they go to a comic book store and like, these are the independent guys, this is all the stuff they have, and there's like a kiosk or something, like a red box. You just scroll through it and you press the button and then it goes to the store, something like that, to try and get the consistency. Because if you're trying to sell one book one time, and 30,000 other people trying to sell one book one time, makes it more difficult than a guy who's selling one book every month or every 3 months or every consistent thing. Now,
I'm sorry, I thought you were done.
No, as for supporting, I'm super poor. So I need as many sandwiches as I can get. So I cannot skip a meal to afford a book. However, I will always go out of my way, as I've said many times, let people know about it, share about it, put it out there, let other people know about it who may not know about it. And that is my contribution to sharing stuff out there.
What I wanted to say to capitalize on what Mark was talking about is that's where your catalog comes into play, right? Because they may find your book for the first time, and they may find a bevy of books on sale or available with the current book that you're releasing. So now, if they cannot afford all of the books at this moment, they know that when the next release happens, they'll be able to get the ones that they missed, right? If they like it, or they can test it out, right? They can dip their toe in the waters and say, okay, you know what? I'll try 1, 2, and 3 right now. I see Calderon has 18 different issues. So I'll try the first 3 at the moment. And if he's going to continue to do this, then when the next one comes out, I'll pick up 3 more, or I'll pick up, because I've got the money in my pocket, to pick up maybe 8 or 9 more, right? Mm-hmm. That's not something you can do in the direct market, because if he's got the book in the shop, oh, okay, I'll pick up this book. Where can I find the next one? Or where can I find the others? Right? That's what you're going to get from the, you can't even say it's the high school kid at the counter anymore, because it's usually not, right? But you get this. Yeah, if you go on direct to crowdfunding, direct to consumer, then you're going to get all that information from that creator on where you can get first, second, third, right? Beginning, middle, end. What's coming up? When's it coming up? You have that access that you're not going to have in the direct market. And that's another plus in the crowdfunding arena.
All right, cool. Listen, I got one more question for you guys. Since you guys are hammering me all night, I got to ask you guys this question. Who here is launching a campaign this year? What is it? When's it coming out? I want to hear it. Let's start with Mark.
We have my second attempt at getting my book, 30 years trying to get it out, designated. We're going to be, if everything goes according to plan, it should be coming out in March. We're doing a radio play to promote it. We're going to be having a cast. We're going to read it out. We have sound effects. I just was listening to my sound effect guy. We have sound effects and music. We're hiring actors, and we got Mr. Rosario being a character in the book.
Nice.
I'm going to be narrating it, and then at the MCon, which is on April 22nd or 23rd, I forget the days, but it's that weekend. We're going to do a live table read, and so we're going to do that to promote the book, to try to do a little something different. And we're also going to go through crowdfunding, which is also a little experiment to see how that works.
Nice.
So it will be coming out, like I said, in March. Fingers crossed.
Okay, cool. The only thing I would say is do crowdfunder, but please do a secondary campaign on Kickstarter.
I did not enjoy my time with Kickstarter.
Why?
It was a lot of, I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
But that's the process. That's
exactly.
And one of the biggest things I found out, at least through my research, as to why we didn't fund, was because my friends don't know anything about the crowdfunding world. So when I said, hey, I got something on Kickstarter, like, okay, great. And then when it ended, I go, hey, we didn't make the money. So what happened? Where can I get the book? Is it too late? What's this? I got to sign up. I had all this stuff. So crowdfunder, because
simple way to avoid this, Mark, and this is for everybody who doesn't understand any crowdfunding. No matter the platform, if you're talking to somebody outside of the community, you pitch it as, hey, my book is up for pre-order. Can you help me reach the goal? That's simple. That's simple. That is the easiest way for people to understand. It's up for pre-order. It needs to hit a goal. Help me get there.
But you still have to explain the time frame. But at least with crowdfunder, as you've had David on here, and I've had David on my show, you can pay the money and you're done.
Yes.
Right there. Pay the money, pre-sale, boom, you're done.
What I'm saying is do it secondary.
Right.
Right. I'm saying do it. Right. You set it for a much lower goal. Sell it for $500 or $200 or whatever. Set it for a much lower goal. So then this way you're not driving yourself crazy. Am I going to fund? Am I going to fund? Right. And then whatever, and that'll just be extra money. So you could do your crowdfunder for 30 days, then do a Kickstarter for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. You know what I mean? Oh, and that's the other thing I forgot to say. This particular campaign, 21 days.
And why is it 21 days?
He's trying to avoid the valley. He's trying to avoid that deep valley.
Right.
And it's a strategic move, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things where it's like, I got a lot of material to release, and I'm doing 5 to 6 campaigns a year. If I can squeeze in 7, I will. Yeah. Because it's like I said, I have a lot of story. I have a lot of story to tell. So Damion,
so
you
I have a book that's coming out in the second half.
Wait a second, hold on. You just skipped by Damion. Damion was next.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all good. I'll go last.
No, go for it, David. Go for it. Go for it,
David. Don't let that man just pass you by.
Yeah, my bad.
I've been spending the last couple months trying to decide whether I was going to do anything later in the year. And I'll be having one in October.
Nice.
Went it before the holidays, but deeper in the year after a lot of the bigger ones may have, where people are going to be spending a lot of their core money, it may have gone by, and I can pick up some of the crumbs. No, I'm just kidding. I've been sitting on, like I said, a 22-page book for the last year. I'm in the process of lettering and coloring and getting it all ready. And I'm going to be, from that point forward, at least every 3 to 4 months releasing an issue of Romer.
Nice.
So I've put a lot of things on the front burner that needed to be off the back burner for quite a while. I'll be focusing mainly on comics this year, getting it ready and having it ready in advance so that things literally can just go to the printer and go out. So I'm not gonna, if it's not done, I'm not gonna have a campaign. But this is already done, so it's just a matter of like I said, getting the coloring and lettering finalized, getting it packaged, and getting it ready to go. And I did finish my action figure. My Romer action figure actually has like workable joints now. So, and I'm probably gonna throw that in as an add-on on that. Just
Cool.
small packaging, quick, fun. Take it out, play with it, put it on your desk.
Nice.
Very nice. I like hanging them on the wall.
Well, I'll make a package for you.
There you
I'll
go.
put it all together for you.
But no, that's really how I like them. I like seeing them with the back, the card, and the whole thing.
There's a Marvel Legends line right now that I have literally every figure of on my wall at work.
Nice.
It's huge. It's like 28, 30 figures. It's crazy.
Wow.
But that's kind of what I want to do. But I figure for money, as an quick add-on, little plastic box, little figure in it, be real neat, hand painted, ready to go.
Nice.
I love that line, Damion. I do. That 3/4, that 1/18 scale. I love it.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
I got the Sentinel. The Sentinel's actually like 6 inches, and the whole package is proportional. It's crazy.
See, I need to get an Oswald about that big.
There you go.
I'm working on it.
That's about an inch and a half. Tiny.
I could do that.
Or even like this.
Yeah.
That's hard to see. That's a Gamera. It's a very tiny chibi Gamera.
Oh, that is Gamera. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. We'll talk later. We'll talk after the show.
You know. So okay. So Mr. J, I know you got something coming. What you got?
I do. Later on in February, second half, I've got a book that I'm publishing from a team that's based out of Colombia. They're looking to get a foothold here in the States. And I think the book is awesome. It is called Limbo, Open Almost All Eternity. And the idea behind the book is that Lucifer has vacated his throne, and he has placed upon it a former priest. And everyone in hell is now trying to make a bid for that seat, and he's trying to keep it all together. So that's all I can say right now without giving the rest of the details to the story. But it will be a 22-page full-color book. The first issue, again, will be available at the end of February. There will be 3 different covers for the book, trading cards for stretch goals, and X's and Y's to be revealed later on.
All right, cool. Very nice. All right, well, gentlemen, we made it to the 2-hour mark. So we made it. All I can say is thank you guys for putting up with me. You were awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Jay, for trying to keep me on track.
I'll beat him.
And you are $105 away from your goal, buddy.
Okay, hold on. Let me just pull it up real quick before we leave.
And before we go, Mark,
there you go.
45 seconds left in the game. Niners are up 19 to 12.
19 to 12. Ooh, all right, cool. Yeah, good day for me.
Nice.
And Dak just escaped the safety in the end zone.
I don't know what any of that means, but good job though.
I was gonna say sports ball.
It's good job. Whatever that is. Someone's not getting knocked out. I don't know, or getting choked unconscious. I don't know what's going on.
Somebody almost got knocked down. Somebody almost got knocked out.
All right. So, gentlemen, please, Damion, please let everybody know where they can find you and your work, sir.
areomniversal.com. Look me up on Facebook. Smack me around if you see me in the street. Say hi.
All right. Cool. Mark?
You can find us www.itcamefromtheradio.com. We are 88.1 FM WARY in Westchester County. If you happen to live in that area, we're on every night at after 10 p.m. multiple times, Monday through Friday. On Wednesday, we're on sci-fi.radio at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. On Thursdays, we're on BTD Radio on Thursdays at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We just got signed up to a new radio station, a Central Oregon station, that's on every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we have a live show coming up on the 8th at the East Meadow Public Library in East Meadows, New York. We do a live show in person. We're back in person finally after the whole pandemic. We did one this month. It's the second Wednesday of every month at 7 o'clock. You go to www.eastmeadow.info for more information. We have a crochet maker who's going to be our guest. And anybody who comes down there gets a free raffle ticket, and they can win a prize from the guest. Her name is Brittany Pleasant from the Artisans Nook. And that is, I think that's everything. Oh, yeah, new show every week. And also, we forgot. We just started, actually in 2 weeks, we just started a new segment from the guys from Crackle. They're going to have a Chris Picks on our show. So he's going to be his picks on what new things coming out on Crackle. Chicken Soup for the Soul, and what was it? Redbox. Redbox now is a streaming service, so that's way you guys check that out. So starting in 2 weeks, we're going to have that. But always check out our show, www.camefromrail.com.
Nice. Mr. Rosario.
UnstoppableComics.com. All roads lead to and from Unstoppable Comics.
All right, cool. Well, you can find me here next weekend with a regularly scheduled show. We'll have our regular group of guests pitching their stuff. We'll be talking about comic books. But, in Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Damion R, all under JD Calderon. So you can find me there. TheOswaldChronicles.com. TallTalesOnline.com, and don't forget, in the show notes, everybody's links are in there, including the link to my latest campaign, On the Wings of Deidre. Click on that link, go get yourself a book or a PDF, or if you want, you can just go to the website and go check it out. So thank you so much, everybody. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. And you guys know, whenever you need it, it's here for you. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good night.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.